Yes, guys, yes, people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to Light Talks Football, and welcome to another episode of Premier League predictions. And this time for game week number 25. And we've got some two huge games to looking forward to. But the real game of the weekend is Liverpool versus Man City at Anfield on a Sunday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Yes, the Tottenham Man United game is also a big game, but for me, it's a Liverpool Man City game because one team is trying to get into the top four, whereas the other team is trying to have a chance of winning the title. Whereas for Tottenham, yes, they're looking to survive the in 14th, and they're looking to survive the relegation. And Man United are looking to chase to the top four. But last season, both teams were awful, absolutely awful. You know what I mean? Yes, Tottenham won the Europa League final, but there was last season. Sorry, this season that they were last season. So yes, Tottenham, Man United Tottenham game is a huge game, but Liverpool Man City game is also bigger because Man City are desperate to win the title. You know, they desperate. And the only way for that to do that is they win every single game and also drop off. You know what I mean? So Liverpool Man City game is the game of the weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be watching it live. You know, on TV. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So that's the game of the weekend, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Liverpool versus Man City. And I'll get to that prediction just tomorrow. But before we get things started, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, hype this video as well if you haven't done so already. Share this with your friends and your family. And as usual, I'm on the road to 1K subscribers. So I know it's taking me that long, but hopefully, I'll get to 1K as soon as possible. So if you guys can get me to 1K subscribers, then that would be fantastic. So make sure you guys do that for me. All right, people. So just had to make sure I put my phone on silent. So yeah, people. Without further ado, let's go. And so the first game of game week 25 is the tonight's game, which is Leeds United versus Nottingham Forest. Of course, Leeds United got absolutely destroyed, yeah, by Arsenal at Eden Road, which I didn't think it would happen, but yeah, the unbeaten one has come to an end, and Arsenal beat them 4-0, comfortably. You know what I mean? Whereas for Nottingham Forest, they drew 1-1 down to 10 men, so they're still unbeaten, but still hasn't got a good result. I look at the table right now. Nottingham Forest are 6 points, behind West Ham, you know, and um and Forest need to be careful because if Forest lose tonight against Leeds, and if West Ham, win away against who have West Ham got away, sorry, against Burnley, the gap will be 3 points. 3 points. So Forest have got to win this game. They've really got to win this game. And they're lucky that West Ham didn't beat my club Chelsea. Otherwise, that gap could have been three and potentially the same if Forest lost and West Ham win. Do you know what I mean? So Forest got lucky, but Forest got to do their job. But they've got a tough test at Ellen Road because yes, Arsenal beat them, but the difference is that Arsenal in first place, whereas for Forest they're in 17th. And look at the form. Yes, Forest are unbeaten in the last four games, but if but for me, they're still 6 points above the relegation zone. So this is a must-win game for Forest, and also Leeds United as well. They're on the same points as Forest, 6 points above the relegation. So this is a must-win for both teams. If Forest win, um, they'll still be in seven. They will be in 16th, but still in the relegation zone. Whereas if Leeds United do win, they will still be in 16th, but they will be 9 points above West Ham. So I know West Ham will be watching that game later today. Leeds United versus Forest. They don't mind. They don't mind if either team win. But I'm thinking if West Ham, I think they would probably want a draw because if that ends in a draw, and if West Ham beat Burnley away, then West Ham could be 4 points behind them. Do you know what I mean? So I think they want to see a draw rather than either Leeds or Forest win, but they don't mind which either of them wins as long as either Leeds or Forest win. So A point will not be good enough for both teams. One of them have got to win. Otherwise, the last 13 games will determine who stays up and who goes down. So for me, Leeds United or Forest have got to win this game. And if I've got to predict who I think is going to win this game, is going to be Leeds because Ellen Road is still a difficult place to go to. Yes, Arsenal beat them, but it's still a tough place to go to. And that was Leeds' first defeat since the Newcastle game where they lost 4-3 in the no, when was the last time Leeds United lost a game? Oh yeah, it was away to so at home to Burnley. Well, they've only lost two in the last 10 games, so it's not really bad for Leeds United. So for me, let's see what they can do. And I think Leeds United will just about get the job done because if it's at Forest's ground, well, I would have gone for Forest win. But because it's at Ellen Road, I think that atmosphere is going to be electric because they know that defeat against Arsenal really hurt them. It really did. And they know a win for them today will be 9 points above and there'll be 10 points, and they're 10 points away of making it safe because teams need at least 40 points for them to be staying up. At least 40. So if Leeds United win this game, they're 11 points away from staying up. And the same goes to Nottingham Forest. So one of those got to win. And if I have to put my money on it, it's going to be Leeds United just about. So yeah, I'm going to go for Leeds United win of 2-1. Goal scorers, I'm going to go for Dominic Cavalieri to score a brace. For Forest, I'm going to go for I want you to score. So yeah, 2-1 to Leeds United. I wouldn't be surprised, yeah, if this game ends in a draw. I wouldn't be. Like I said, if it ends in a draw, then it's not good enough for both teams. But I just think Leeds United and the World, they just got their advantage there. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Leeds United win. All right, the next game, which is a big game, but the real big game is on Sunday, which I'll get you just a moment. But yeah, trophy to pay me kickoff is Old Trafford, where Man United face Tottenham Hotspur. Now, for me, yeah, I don't know why this game is an earlier kickoff. I really don't know because for me, yeah, they should have put that game on 5:30. Because if you look at the 5:30 p.m. kickoff, it's Newcastle versus Brentford. Do you know what I mean? And that game should have been at 5:30 because usually they put big games on a 5:30. For example, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, Chelsea, and all that stuff. So I don't know. So that for me, that should have put that game on 5:30 on a Saturday night. You know what I mean? But it's an earlier kickoff, and Man United face Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, Man United have won 3 games in a row, and they just about got the win against Fulham because the game is about to be done, but then I saw Fulham score a goal, and I'm like, yeah, I think Man United will still win. But when I saw that goal from Tuta, I was like, boy, could Fulham actually do something? Could they get a result? But Sesko scored, and yeah, and it makes sure that Man United do stay unbeaten in the last 3 games. So Michael Carrick has the same amount of wins in his first 3 games than Amwin did in his whole entire Man United manager career. It's absolutely crazy. And if Michael Carrick beats Tottenham, that'll be 4 wins, in a row, which of course Amwin has never done before. You know what I mean? And also, yeah, Frank, who you all know for the United strand, is 2 games away, 2 wins away, sorry, of cutting his hair because Man United have won 3 in a row. They've got Tottenham, which is tomorrow. Then next week, they go away to West Ham. So I tell you what, if Man United do beat Tottenham, Frank will be happy. But next week, he might be a bit nervous because he knows that his team cannot let Frank lose that streak. He simply can't. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Man United versus Tottenham. Of course, the people who I know is going to be KG versus Abbey, of course, and yeah, looking forward to it. Now, interesting thing is that Tottenham are very good in Manchester. I think the last time um, Tottenham lost at Manchester was in 2022 when they lost 2-0 to Man United. And that was before the FIFA Club World Cup game. 2-0, 2022. 3.5 years the last time Tottenham lost at Manchester. You know what I mean? So Tottenham own Manchester. Every time they go to Old Trafford, they win. You know, they win last season, but sometimes they draw. Every time they go to Man City, they win as well. So Tottenham are very good in the northwest of England. They are very good. But now, this has become a big difference. Because if you look at the table, Tottenham are in 14th place. They're on the same points as Crystal Palace. Whereas for Man United, they are in fourth place, you know, and they're 6 points by Man City, which is absolutely crazy. Now, if you want to know who needs to win this game, for me it's Tottenham. It is Tottenham. Because if Man United, let's say Man United lost, then they will be disappointed, but they still have a chance of making it to the top four. Whereas Tottenham, if they lose, this game, they could fall down below the table because if Crystal Palace beat Brighton on Sunday, and let's say that either Leeds United or Forest win, then Tottenham will be in 15th. They will be in 15th, and if West Ham beat Burnley away, they will be 6 points above the relegation. I don't think Tottenham are going to get relegated, but Tottenham need to fix up. They really do, because Tottenham have still lost more games, yeah, than they've won. And if you look at the last 5 games for Tottenham, no win at all. Draw, lost, lost, draw, draw. And the last result was a 2-2 draw against Man City. Like Tottenham are that is a relegation battle, you know. And for me, Tottenham have got to win this game because they know they simply cannot be, below where they are last season, which was in 17th or something like that. So Tottenham have got to win this game, but I don't see that happening because, like I said, Michael Carrick is doing a fantastic job, really doing a good job. Yes, they just about got the job done against Fulham, but Fulham are a good team. They're in ninth. They're on 34 points. So that win was huge for Man United. If they didn't win that game, they would not be in the top five. They would not be. So that win was huge for Man United. It was really huge. So for me, I think this is the time where Manchester United have got to beat Tottenham, because they cannot allow to not beat Tottenham. They really can't. Last season, Man United lost 4 times, 4 times in all competitions. Two in the Premier League, one in the Carabao Cup, and especially the Europa League final. 4 times. And I know this is a different manager, you know, and this season earlier, they drew 2-2. Like Man United have got a very poor record, but that ends tomorrow. That ends tomorrow. I don't think I will see anything other than United win. So for this game, I'm gonna go for I'm gonna go for a Man United win. I'm gonna go for let's go for 3-1. Because Man United last got in 3 goals, under Carrick. I think they scored. Did they score 3 goals or might be 2-0? I can't remember. I think they may have scored 2 goals against Man United, three against Arsenal, and three against Fulham. So Man United are starting to love scoring goals now. And in fact, how many goals they score in the Premier League right now? Let me just have a quick look. Man United have scored 44, 44 goals, which is the third best because only Arsenal, Man City are first because they scored 49 goals. Also in second because they scored 46 goals. And then Man United are in third because they scored 44 goals. So Man United are lost scoring goals right now. And I think, I don't think they will bat at Tottenham, but I just think Man United are Old Trafford, different atmosphere. The fans are loving what Carrick is seeing and what Carrick is doing. It looks like the players are playing for him. So yeah, that atmosphere is going to be very different. Very different. So yeah, I think Man United are going to win this game 3-1. I'm looking forward to the best of enemies later today when KG is up against Expressions. And I tell you what, yeah, I hope they do that that press conference like what they did when Arsenal faced Man United. I hope they do that one the same because I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to it. So yeah, 3-1 to Man United. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Cunha because he's on form. And Bremo, Casemiro because he's looking good as well. The only goal scorer for Tottenham is Dominic Solanke, and that's basically it. I'll be very surprised, yeah, if Tottenham get a result because Michael Carrick is a way better manager than Thomas Frank. Simple as that. So yeah, 3-1 to Man United is going to be my prediction. Now the next game is Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. Of course, Aston Villa lost another home game, which was Brentford. And Brentford, by the way, were down to 10 men. They were down to 10 men and they still won. Like that is absolutely embarrassing, yeah, for for Aston Villa. The fact they've lost at home and then you end up losing to a 10-man Brentford is not good. And what makes it even worse here, Villa right now are in third place on 46 points. Man United are 5 points behind them. Aston Villa have really got to win this game because if they lose to Bournemouth and Man United win, you know, the gap will be close. The gap will be 2 points. And if Chelsea beat Wolves, because we're 6 points behind them. If Chelsea beat Wolves and Villa lose, we'll be 3 points behind them. So I tell you what, and this is why I didn't say that Villa are in a title race because I didn't know how they're going to cope in Europe and the Premier League at the same time. So this is why for me, Villa have got to get into the Champions League because if they bottle it again, if Villa bottle it again, boy, there's going to be some serious questions. But Villa are under some serious pressure right now because teams, the likes of Man United, Chelsea, and can throw in Liverpool because they're 7 points behind them, are catching up to Villa in third place. So Villa have got to try and win this game. You know what I mean? But it ain't gonna be easy for Villa because Bournemouth right now are starting to look really good. Bournemouth have won in the last 4 games, 3 wins. That was Wolves. Who was it they win? Liverpool and Tottenham, I think. Yeah, something like that. Like Bournemouth are unbeaten last 4 games. Whereas for Aston Villa last 4 games, only 1 win, and that was away to Newcastle. You know what I mean? So Bournemouth are in a much better form than Aston Villa, and it's at Vitality Stadium, which is a very difficult place to go to. You know what I mean? So for this year, I'm gonna back Bournemouth. Especially at home because their home form is starting to improve of the last um 4 games. Ever since that win against Tottenham. You know what I mean? So I'm back in Bournemouth, and that's the game I'm going to be watching as well, along with the Arsenal Sunderland and also my club Chelsea going away to Wolves. So I'm going to be watching that game and I'm going to back Bournemouth. Hopefully Bournemouth can do Chelsea and maybe Man United a favour and maybe Liverpool a favour by beating Aston Villa. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Bournemouth win. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Eve Allison and who else? Let's go for Justin Clivert. Aston Villa, I'm gonna go for Tam Abraham because he's unlucky to score an offside goal. Like I think he done it once or twice, I can't remember. But yeah, I'm gonna back 2-1 to Bournemouth in that one. I think yeah, they're gonna cause more pressure with Villa and the players and the manager as well. So I'm gonna back Bournemouth to win 2-1. So there we go. And listen, yeah, it will be a great week. Actually, I'll get to Chelsea just a minute. Let me just move on to the next game, which is Arsenal versus Sunderland. Of course, Arsenal did bounce back after that 4-0 win away to Leeds United, whereas for Sunderland, their home form continues. They beat Burnley by 3 goals to 0. So Sunderland are still the only team, yeah, at this moment in time to remain unbeaten at home. But Sunderland away from home hasn't been that good. I think their last away game was at the London Stadium and they lost 3-1. You know what I mean? So Sunderland used to be good at London. That was before before. But then after the Chelsea game, they lost to Fulham. They drew to Palace. They lost to Brentford, I think. Yeah, Brentford beat them. Who else? Yeah, they've actually no, they beat Tottenham, didn't they? Yeah. Um, who else? Yeah, they lost to West Ham. So yeah, Sunderland used to be good in the capital, but not anymore. And Arsenal, yeah, um, they still looking to win that famous Premier League trophy, which they haven't done since 2004. And I think they'll win this game because even though it's at the Emirates Stadium, you know, and their last game was at home to Man United, which they did lose. The atmosphere is still loud. It's still a very difficult place to go to, and they've only lost once. And I'm hearing that Granit Xhaka, the former Arsenal player, is injured because and that's really sad because I would love to see Granit Xhaka up against that midfield. And if Granit Xhaka was available, I do not know how much reception he's going to get. Because remember on the Una Emery when he took Granit Xhaka off, they were booing him, and then Granit Xhaka says, "Shut the f up," and all of that stuff. So if Granit Xhaka was available, I don't know if he's going to get applause or he's going to get booed. I really don't know. But he's injured, and that's really bad for them. But let's see how Sunderland do. Let's see how Sunderland do. Like they drew to Arsenal 2-2 at the Stadium of Light. I mean, Man City fans will be watching that game, and let's see if Sunderland can do Man City a favour and try and make Arsenal drop points at home for the second time this season in a row, especially the Premier League, you know what I mean? But I don't see that happening. I think Arsenal win this game, so I'm going to go for a 2-0 Arsenal win. I'm going to go for 2-0. They'll definitely keep a clean sheet. They'll definitely keep that clean sheet because the last 8 games, they have been conceding a lot, but I feel like, you know, um, but I feel like they kept a clean sheet against Leeds. They kept a clean sheet against Chelsea midweek. And I think they'll do the same thing again tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to go for a Arsenal 2-0 win against Sunderland. And the goal scorers is going to be let's go for Victor Yokoes and Noni Madueke. So yeah, 2-0 to no, actually not Madueke, sorry. Gabriel Martelli. So yeah, 2-0 to Arsenal. So yeah, they'll win that game. Right, the next game, of course, is Burnley versus West Ham, of course. Burnley lost 3-0 away to the Stadium of Light, whereas for West Ham, they lost 3-2 in a London derby against my club. And they were 2-0 up, by the way. They were 2-0 up at halftime, end up bottling it. You know what I mean? But listen, West Ham, um, are starting to pick up points, but they're still in 18th place. They are still in 18th place, but then but they can still have a chance here of staying up because, like I mentioned before, they are 6 points behind Forest and Leeds United, who played today. Now, if either Forest or Leeds United win, then that means that West Ham will be 3 points behind Forest or Leeds United, So for me, that would be huge for West Ham. But West Ham have also got to win this game because Burnley are 5 points behind them. 5 points. And if Burnley beat West Ham, they will be 2 points behind them. Do you know what I mean? So West Ham, for me, if they want to stay up, they've got to win this game and stay. And the Turf Moor is a very difficult place to go to. It really is. It really is a very difficult place to go to. But West Ham are starting to play some really good games. Back-to-back wins. But like I said, lots against my club. And I still think that Burnley will get relegated. They will get relegated. So for me, I think West Ham will get the job done. So I'm backing them. Oh, that's not it. I'm backing West Ham to win by 2 goals to 1. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet because I think Burnley will score, but I think West Ham will get the job done. So yeah, 2-1. And Summerfield is on a good scoring form. 4 games in a row in the Premier League, which he scored for West Ham, which is not too bad. And Thomas Troye, played against Chelsea and already got booked. And there's no the number 25 because obviously he got a straight red card after holding João Pedro's neck like that. So he's out for this game. So we'll see how West Ham can cope without the number 25. So yeah, I think West Ham will get the job done. 2-1. Birdie goal score. I'm gonna go for Leslie Kuchuku for West Ham. Actually, you know what? Actually, I'm changing it to 2-0. I'm changing it to 2, yeah, 2-0 to West Ham. Goal scorers, I'm going to go for Somerville and Adama Traore. So, yeah, 2-0 to Burnley, sorry, to West Ham. It's going to be my prediction for that game tomorrow. And then the next game is Fulham versus Everton, of course. Everton got that 1-1 draw away to the Amex Stadium. For Fulham, what was their last result? Sorry, let me just have a quick look. Fulham's last result was a 3-2 loss against Manchester United at Old Trafford. So there we go. Um, so yeah, this one, let me see. And look at this. It is ninth versus 10th, and both teams on the same points and the same goal difference as well. You know what I mean? -1, 34 points. Now, if you look at Everton, they are unbeaten, funny enough, in the last 4 games, but it's only one win in four because the other ones, one win and 3 draws. You know what I mean? Whereas if you look at for Fulham, 2 wins, and 2 draws. So it sounds like a pattern. They win one game, they lose the next one. They win one game, they lose the next one. So I've no doubt that that pattern is going to continue. They'll probably win the next ones because Fulham's last game was at home to Brighton and they've won 2-1. And Harry Wilson scored a late winner. So you know what I mean? So Fulham, when it comes to Craven Cottage, are very good. It's a very, very difficult place to go to, at Craven Cottage. It is, inside of West London. So I think, yeah, that even though Everton are good away from home, they will know it's going to be a tough game. So I think for me, Everton can get results at Craven Cottage, but I think Fulham is so good at home that I'm just gonna have to predict a 2-1 Fulham win. Like I would not be surprised here if Everton get a result you know, this game because like I said, they're very good away from home. But Craven Cottage, very difficult place to go to. And I think Fulham, they've got some really good players. Wow Jimenez, Harry Wilson, Chukwueze, Alex Iwobi and all that stuff. So they should be fine. They should be fine for that game. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Fulham win. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Chukwueze, Harry Wilson as well. For Everton, I'm gonna go for Beto to score for Everton. So yeah, 2-1 to Fulham. It's gonna be my prediction. I think after Fulham got a late equalizer, I feel like they will suffer a late, possibly a late winner against Fulham, at Craven Cottage. So yeah, 2-1 to Fulham is gonna be my prediction for that game tomorrow. And then the next game, boy, there's so many 3 p.m. kickoffs. The next game, of course, is Wolves versus Chelsea. Of course, Wolves, suffer a defeat against Bournemouth at home, 2-0. And for Chelsea, 3 wins in a row under Liam Senior. So we're starting to really pick up form. Now, this is a game we've got to win. We really got to win. And Molineux is a very, very difficult place to go to because the last time we went there, we've only beaten them by 4 goals to 3 in the Carabao Cup. Do you know what I mean? So we got very lucky there. But this time, Liam Senior have only lost 2 games in all competitions, and that's in the Carabao Cup. He's still unbeaten in the Premier League. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna gas it up too much. You know what I mean? But listen, what listen, we've got to win those games because Chelsea are trying to aim for the top 4. You know what I mean? So yeah, yesterday there is no Jamie Gittens is going to be out for a long time because he torn his hamstring injury. So just great, absolutely great. But listen, we should have more than capable enough of beating Wolves because anything other than a win is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Wolves are rock bottom. They're still on 8 points and they're still on course, yeah, to be the worst Premier League team in history because Derby County have got 11 points. So Wolves have got to win one more game or one or more game to break that record of not breaking that bad record, in the Premier League. You know what I mean? So Chelsea, I think, yeah, will get the win. We will get the win. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, but I think we'll get the job done. So for this game, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Chelsea win. 3-1. Goal scorers, I'm going to go for João Pedro, Enzo Fernandez, and Esteval. For Wolves, I'm going to go for Wang Yi Chan. So yeah, 3-1 to Chelsea. It's going to be my prediction for that game, and we should win. we should win because Man United, because we're in the top four ways, so we're trying to get into the top five. You know what I mean? So yeah, 3-1 to Chelsea's gonna be my prediction. I'm backing my boys, and hopefully they don't let me down tomorrow. So yeah, 3-1. And then the 5:30 p.m. kickoff, which it should not be, but it is what it is Newcastle versus Brentford. Of course, Newcastle last result was a 4-1 loss away to Liverpool, which that was absolutely battering. And also, during earlier this week, yeah, they lost 3-1 to Man City and 5-1 in aggregate. And yes, they finally scored the Etihad, but Newcastle got absolutely battered in that game. And they're lucky that it was that 3-1 flattered them because it should have been more. Should have been more for Man City. But Eddie Howe is under some serious pressure right now. He really is. Because looking at Newcastle, yeah, they are in 11th place, the same points as Bournemouth. You know what I mean? And Newcastle, if they lose to Brentford, and let's say that Bournemouth and Brighton win their game, Newcastle will be 11th place. And their chance of making it to Europe for next season could be over. Like, I don't know what's going on with Newcastle. Every time they not playing in Europe, they do good. But every time they play in the Champions League, they look bad in the Premier League. Like, I don't know what's going on with Newcastle, but Eddie Howe's got to really fix up. Otherwise, he could potentially be the next manager sacked. He could. He really could. You know what I mean? And so for this game, I want a Newcastle win because Brentford are 4 points behind Chelsea. 4 points. And I don't want Brentford to close the gap on just one. I really don't. If Chelsea God forbid that Chelsea lose to Wolves, which hopefully that doesn't happen. So yeah, I'm gonna be watching that game and I want Newcastle to win. So I'm going to back them to win by 2 goals to 1. I don't think Newcastle are going to batter Brentford. I really don't think so because Brentford are a really good team, especially from foreigns. But I think it's that St James Park is a it's still a very difficult place to go to, and Newcastle have got to win this game if Eddie Howe doesn't handle a big pressure. So yeah, 2-1 to Newcastle is going to be my prediction for that game tomorrow. Goal scorer for Brentford, I'm going to go for Igor Thiago. For Newcastle, I'm going to go for Voltamada and Anthony Gordon. So yeah, 2-1 to Newcastle. It's going to be my prediction for that game on um Saturday, which is tomorrow. And then we move on into Super Sunday games. And the first one is a M23 derby, which is Brighton versus Palace. Of course, if you take the M23 derby, it takes you from the southwest of London to Brighton, which is the south coast, via Gatwick Airport. Because I've been to Gatwick Airport and the M23 takes you to Gatwick Airport wherever you are in the UK. So yeah, it's a M23 derby and it's at the Amex Stadium. Now for me, yeah, every time I see this M23 derby, it always ends in a draw. It always has end in a draw. At Selhurst Park, ending in a 1-1 draw. And I believe that, in fact, let me just take a look at that results real quick. I believe that there was red cards in this game, and let me just see what was the final result. 2025. Let's just see. Yeah, look at this. It was 0-0. Okay, it was 0-0. There was last season Palace did beat Brighton, and there were three-way cards in that game. Three-way cards, but Crystal Palace beat Brighton 2-1 at Selhurst Park last season. You know, but then earlier this season, on the 9th of November, it was a 0-0 draw. Every time I see this game, it always ends in a draw. Always ends. And if you look at the Premier League table, yeah. Palace are much worse than Brighton, but Brighton are in 13th and Crystal Palace are in 15th. You know what I mean? If Palace beat Brighton, and let's say that Tottenham also win their game as well, then Brighton could be in 15th. They could be in 15th if they lose to Crystal Palace. Whereas if Brighton beat Palace, and let's say that Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton, and Fulham lose their game, then Brighton will be in ninth place because their goal difference is 2, while the rest of them is -1, 0, and -3. So Brighton could be in ninth place if they beat Palace and the teams, from ninth to 12th, all drop points in that game. So there you go. So yeah, I don't know what to think about this game. It's just not a great game to watch. It did have some moments, don't get me wrong, but it's just it's just a dull game, to be honest with you. So for me, even though Brighton are good at home, their last game was against Everton at home. They had missed opportunities, and Everton scored late. And I think it will be the same thing again. I think Brighton will take the lead, and then Crystal Palace will end up, scoring late. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go for a draw. I'm gonna go for 1-1. It's either it's gonna be a 0-0 or 1-1. Because even though it's a M23 derby, it's not like a proper derby, and it's not a really good game to watch. There will be goals, don't get me wrong, but I just think it's gonna be a boring draw. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 1-1. Goal score for Palace, I'm gonna go for Sarr. For Brighton, I'm gonna go for Daniel Welbeck. So yeah, 1-1 is gonna be my prediction. On a 2 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday. So there we go. So yeah, 1-1. And then the final game of Game Week 25 is the big game, the game of the weekend. Liverpool versus Man City at Anfield. Now, this now yesterday, when I heard this stat, I was so shocked. Like Man City, yeah, have only beaten Liverpool at Anfield twice in 35 games. Or is it when did, yeah, 35 games. Two, one was in COVID, and I forgot the other one. Believe it was in 2010 when Nicholas Anelka, something like that. I can't remember. But two wins, yeah, in 35 visits to Anfield for Man City, That is absolutely crazy. Like, Man City hate Anfield. They really do, you know. And for me, yeah, let me tell you something, yeah. If Arsenal beat Sunderland and Man City lose against Liverpool, then this title race could soon be over. It could soon be over. I don't think it is over, but there's a possibility of Man City, percentage going down a bit every time they drop points because Man City right now have only got one win in I believe six or something like that, and that only win was at Wolves, but that was away from home. Sorry, that was at home. Wolves are simply the worst of rock bottom. That's the only win for Man City. And the funny thing is that they're 6 points behind Arsenal. Six. So Man City, yeah, you know, if they want to close the gap on Arsenal, they've got to beat Liverpool at Anfield and making sure that Arsenal drop points. Because anyhow they don't do that, then this title race could soon be over. And I tell you what, yeah, if Man City do beat Liverpool at Anfield, I think the manager and the players will give them confidence of saying, listen, you know, we are still in this race. Do not count us out. Do not. Yes, may have a bad record, but if we can beat Liverpool, it'll give us more confidence. Because I don't think anybody in this world would predict a Man City win. Not even me. Because for me, yeah, let me tell you something, yeah. It will be a great weekend if Man United drop points, Liverpool drop points, and Villa drop points. It will be a great weekend because Chelsea, if they beat, and also Chelsea, let me say this properly. It will be a great weekend if Chelsea beat Wolves, if Man United drop points to Tottenham, if Liverpool drop points to Man City, and if Villa drop points to Bournemouth. It will be a great weekend because if that happens, yeah, then Chelsea will be in fourth place and they'll be 3 points behind Aston Villa if they lose and Man United Liverpool drop points as well. So for me, yeah, fingers crossed, I'm hoping for Man City to beat Liverpool or, for Man United to Tottenham to beat Man United, which, and for Villa to lose to Bournemouth, and for Chelsea to beat Wolves, actually, as well. But for me, I don't see. The only thing I do see is that Villa is going to lose, but I don't see Man United lose to Tottenham at home, and I don't see Liverpool losing to Man City at home. I really don't. I really don't. So we'll see what happens. But fingers crossed. It could work in Chelsea's favour this weekend. Fingers crossed. So yeah, for this game, I'm gonna go for a Liverpool win. Hmm. I'm gonna go for a Liverpool win of. Let's have a look. I wanted to go for 2-0, but yeah, I think yeah, I'm gonna go for Liverpool win of Man City will score, you know. I think they will score. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Liverpool 2-1. I think Man City will score. I wanted to go for 2-0, but Man City will definitely score. But I think that record at Anfield for Man City, that poor record will continue. It really would. You know what I mean? Because Liverpool at Anfield is a very different team. Yes, Anfield have lost games, but Man City right now, they have a very bad record at Anfield. Very bad. So I think we'll see what happens. But if Man City do win, then they'll give them confidence. If they lose, then they just got to make sure that also keep dropping points and Man City keep winning games in order for them to be have any chance to win the title. You know what I mean? So I know Arsenal fans will be watching that game and they'll be hoping for Liverpool to do them a favor and beat Man City. So there we go. But yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Liverpool win just about. Goal scorers for Liverpool, I'm gonna go for Hugo Ekitike and Volvo Wirtz because both them, especially Volvo Wirtz in the last 10 games, have been wicked good. You know, I believe he scored like 6 goals and 2 assists in the last 10 games. Not bad, you know. And then partnership of Hugo Ekitike and Volvo Wirtz is deadly, you know. If both of them can keep doing that, then maybe next season Liverpool might be better than it was last season. You know what I mean? So I think Liverpool will just about do it. So yeah, Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz. For Man City, I'm gonna go for Antoine Semenyo. I don't think Haaland have ever scored against Liverpool before. Maybe once or twice. I really don't know. But I think yeah, Liverpool at Anfield, they're gonna continue to have a really good one against Man City. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-1. And of course, Liverpool are looking for revenge after that 3-0 defeat away to the Etihad earlier this season. So yeah, 2-1 to Liverpool is going to be my prediction with that game on a Sunday. All right, people. So let me go through my predictions one more time. So tonight's game, I've gone for a Leeds 2-1 win against Forest. Then moving on to Saturday's games, I've gone for 3-1 Man United to win against Tottenham in the early kickoff. Then 3 p.m. kickoff games, I've gone for a Bournemouth 2-1 win against Villa. And also 2-0 win against Sunderland, a 2-0 West Ham win against Burnley, a 2-1 Fulham win against Everton, a 3-1 Chelsea win against Wolves, and a 2-1 Newcastle win against Brentford. And then on Super Sunday, I went for a 1-1 draw in the M23 derby between Brighton and Crystal Palace. And then the game of the week in the big one, I've gone for a Liverpool 2-0 win against Manchester City at Anfield on a 4:30 p.m. kickoff on a Sunday. And that, my people, is my Premier predictions for game week number 25. And since that's the end of my prediction, that's the end of this video. So if you guys got your score predictions, then do let me know in the comments down below and I'll react to them as soon as I can. Until then, hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of the games. Don't forget to hit the like, share, comment, and subscribe button. Also, after this video, I've done so already. Make sure you guys share this video to all your friends and family. And yeah, like I said, do leave your thoughts and your feelings in the comments down below. Where do you agree, disagree with my prediction? And if you got your score prediction, then do let me know in the comments down below. So yeah, man, the big game is on Sunday. Liverpool face Man City. Will Liverpool ruin Man City's title hopes, or can Man City still close the gap on Arsenal? We shall wait to see what happens. So yeah, people, enjoy your weekend and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care, goodbye, God bless, and as always, peace. I'm out of here.